He's one of the Fantastic Four's earliest foes. Let's get into the video and find out who is the Puppet Master. Philip Masters was born in the small nation of Transia. His mother was an alcoholic and his father was often withdrawn. Philip spent a lot of time around his grandmother, who would tell him stories of Morgan Le Fay and her cult of Darkholders. She would also tell him stories of how the ancient demon Chthon had been imprisoned beneath Wundagore Mountain, contaminating the earth around it. His uncle Andrew introduced Philip to the art of whittling, and Philip caught on quickly and became extremely skilled at creating lifelike puppets from wood. Philip eventually began using his skills to sculpt his lifelike figures with clay that he would get from the base of Wundagore Mountain. Philip's family would relocate to the US when he was around 8. His life would drastically change after his grandmother passed away. His mother would pass shortly after, and his father was unable to cope and raise Philip on his own, so he placed Philip in an orphanage. Philip found it hard to make friends and spent most of his time with his puppets. As a young adult, he would go on to attend college and study biology. He became good friends with Philip Reese and Marcia Denton, and Philip and Jacob would become roommates. The two roommates would later have a strange encounter with a young lady named Alicia Clay, who was actually a time-traveling Alicia Masters. Alicia tried to warn Jacob that Philip would one day kill him, but Jacob didn't buy it. Jacob would go on to marry Marcia, and Philip and Jacob would enter into a partnership and open their own lab. They obtained large quantities of the radioactive clay from Wundagore Mountain for their research. Jacob and Marcia would eventually have a daughter, which they would name Alicia, and Philip would become her godfather. But as the years passed, Philip became jealous of Jacob's perfect life and decided to destroy their lab to spite Jacob. On the night that Philip went to sabotage the lab, Jacob and his family just happened to be passing by and saw the lights on. Jacob stopped and went to investigate and discovered Philip destroying the lab. The two men scuffled and ended up causing an explosion which killed Jacob. Marcia and Alicia were also injured by the blast, and Alicia was permanently blinded. Somehow, Philip survived. Guilt-ridden, he kept the cause of the blast a secret, and a year later married Marcia and adopted Alicia, trying to set things right in his own twisted way by taking care of Jacob's family. But Marcia had been poisoned by the radioactive clay in the explosion and died shortly after they were married. Philip opened a toy store and began selling his puppets. He shared his love of sculpting with his adopted daughter, who became a talented sculptor herself. Then one day, while using the Wundagorean clay to create a puppet, he stumbled across the fact that he was able to control the mind of the puppet's real-life counterpart. He tested out his theory on a man and forced him to jump from the Brooklyn Bridge. The man was saved by the Human Torch, but Philip was able to confirm his theory. He decided he would use his newfound abilities to make himself king of the world. The Puppet Master's powers come from the clay he uses from Wundagore Mountain, which possessed the magical energies of Chthon. Using the clay to sculpt a puppet of the person, he can control almost any animate being. When controlling them, the Puppet Master can force them to do things they normally wouldn't do. But extremely strong-willed individuals have been able to break from his control when they are being forced to do something they deem evil. The memories of those that he has controlled vary based on what the Puppet Master wants them to remember. Some will have no memories of their actions, some have full memories of their actions but no idea that they were being controlled. Some can recall all of their actions and know that an external force was controlling them. There is a side effect to the clay. It makes the user mentally unstable and compels them to want to use the clay more. Philip began going by the alias of the Puppet Master and began his conquest to become king of the world. In his first scheme, he used puppets he had made to take control of the Thing of the Fantastic Four and induce a prison break at the state prison. However, Reed Richards was able to snap the Thing out of the Puppet Master's control, and the Fantastic Four was able to foil the Puppet Master's plan. But even with his plan failing, the Puppet Master still considered what he had done a success and reveled in his new power. Alicia, feeling her father was going mad, tried to grab the puppet depicting him as king of the world. As she tried to grab it, she fell to the ground and so did the puppet. The Puppet Master went to retrieve it and tripped over Alicia's arm and out of a window. The Fantastic Four arrived just as the Puppet Master had fallen and assumed he died from the fall. But the Puppet Master had in fact survived the fall. The Puppet Master would re-emerge, set on getting revenge against the Fantastic Four for ruining his plan. He went on to try numerous schemes to get that revenge, and they all ended in failure. Well, that's the origin of the Puppet Master. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by the channel and check out this video. Please like, share, and drop a comment down below. It really helps out the channel. Well, that does it for today's video. We'll see you again real soon, but until the next one, I'm out. Peace.